Hey everybody! Today I plan to show you how to make a VTuber model while I'm making a new model for myself. This model is pretty old and it's been a while since I've ever, my art style has significantly changed and my design has also changed, so I figured may as well, you know? For the start, I guess, we just start off with the general sketch. Sketching is absolutely mandatory. You need a base to figure out what you're gonna do before you draw the actual parts that you need to separate and animate, which will be tough, but oh well. It's the toughest part actually. There's nothing else tougher than that for this, for making a VTuber model anyway. Unless you get real complicated, but for my purposes it's going to be relatively simple as simply drawing the model, rigging it up simple to create a model just like this one that I'm using right now. So let's begin. I will be ignoring the fact that it looks completely off when flipped. I'm also just making this a body up model, I guess, just only the torso and above because I'm just way too damn lazy to do the rest of the model. So yeah, gonna zoom that out. And now we are done with our sketch. It's more so line art than an actual sketch, but you know, I'm one of those crazy artists who just jumps straight to the line art when I'm able to, just cause I'm lazy. Or talented, if you want to say that. But anyway, this is how the model is supposed to look, kind of, when all the parts are together, and you know, it looks just like all the parts when they're all together. When you just look at it, imagine my model just being still. I'll try to look at the camera real stilly. That's what it should look like. Essentially just like the still image of that, but you know. The only thing left to do now is just to do finishing touches. You sure this shape is what you want and all that? And then after that, you can get ready for the next step, which is line art. Well, not exactly line art. Essentially, now your job is to draw all of these into parts now, parts that can move, and you basically want to make a new layer for every single thing that is gonna move, every part that's gonna move. If you want The ears to move, they gotta be on their own layer. And if you want like this part to move, or this part to move, or this part to move, the nose to move, the mouth to move, the eyes to move, it's essentially that you need to make a moving layer for each of these parts. I'm going to do a flat color drawing because that way I don't have to worry about the shading or anything of the sort. It's just going to be flat, simple shading. Or not flat, simple shading, it's just flat color, so I don't have to worry about the shading. So just be, you know, my model has a little bit of shading. If nobody could have told, this is like a really old thing. In fact, you can even tell that my ears have a little shade. The hair to the sides of this, I guess, in my current model right now, that's like, it's slightly darker. And then there's also this part too, which is also a bit dark. But yeah, just gotta do that now. You also want to name it in a way where you will understand what you're doing, you know, which part's which. Like, I named this hair front line for this part right here. But, you know, it'll be easier on you. You could work with just like layer 1 only if you're that crazy, but I am not that sort of person. I'm not crazy enough anyway. If you can do that, that's just like, I have a newfound respect for you. Because I do not have the brain capacity to keep all of that in my head at once. You can also like make the other layers invisible, so you have a better time drawing each part and drawing the head. So this is what I'm doing right now for the head. Wolfie has human ears behind all the hair, which people don't typically notice, but yes, he has 2 sets of ears. Makes hearing things very better for him. But I'd say it's also very annoying and very painful from time to time. Nose is a simple triangle. Some people just use a line for their anime models, or you could even omit it, just like the Mark sample model that is on the Live2D official tutorial. I'm just choosing to, you know, making it simple for myself because, yay, not much work to do once I start rigging the thing, which is going to be real long and tedious, by the way. This is the easiest part. The toughest part is just separating all the parts so that way, you know, they're all A-OK and all that, but also, when it comes to naming the models, you want to do like for something like this. for like the wolf ears, right? I named it wolf ear rar, which stands for right. And you might think to yourself, oh, it means this ear right here, which, no. It's essentially the right side of your model right here. It's essentially like this is the right side. This is a mere reflection of, what your camera will record. So this is actually the left side of your model, and this is the right side. And you better take note of that because that's just how it's going to be from now on. You also do this in anatomy if you take anatomy classes, not just for drawing, but for health reasons. And if you don't, well, you're going to have a hard time. Because rigging it requires you to rig it in this way. So you can see it coming together. I'm not sure whether or not to make the top here a little thin or not. Well, actually, you know what? I'm gonna separate these. Fix that up. And do that. And yes, it does get this convoluted as time goes on. You will enjoy rigging it a lot, trust me. It is the best part of all of this. Ehe. Oh yeah, for the eyes, so you want to separate them. You want to separate the eyelashes and the whole thing. The face is a complicated thing. So you need to separate like absolutely everything. You gotta separate the actual eye from the iris. Again, my eye is incredibly simple for the sake of ease of modeling, but you can make yours a bit more detailed. Or you could even just like It'll make sense later. Mouth is also a bit as complicated as the rest of this stuff, but generally making it symmetric will be better for you in the long run. I'm just that incompetent that I don't try. Also, we needed to separate the eyebrows as well. Whoops. And because I'm not making any fancy stuff like with the arms and stuff, I can just draw the whole entire body as like one big entity essentially. I can just completely omit all the bothersome details and stuff and just work on the lines, which is nice. I think thicker arms gives a little bit more volume to my model. And that's it for the line art. Now all I have to do is just do the coloring, which will be easier if I make the background dark. Yes, it's safe to just color it in all in one layer because you're gonna merge the line layer with the color layer, because otherwise it's gonna be a pain to brig. You're supposed to combine them once you're done mixing it all in, I guess, coloring it all in. That's our first completed art mesh. I'll probably keep them separate for now, because once I actually do the thing, I want to make sure that I can correct any mistakes that I've made or so on. The head I will merge. Just keeping it nice and simple. It's alright if the model's asymmetrical, because like you can always fix it up and alter how the model moves. I'm gonna apply a little bit of shading here. So that way you can tell where the eye starts and where it doesn't. And decorate the eye a little. And then I'll spread them. And then now all you need to do is worry about the irises. Well, that can be fixed. Always remember to double check, unlike what I did. Now the general face is done. It's also good to put them in folders too. But I was a bit lazy at first. It appears I've made a mistake, which I'm glad I have put in multiple layers for. Now we got this part to do. Doing this in monocolor is gonna be real hellish for me to rig probably, but I don't regret it one bit because I'll make the design just more consistent and looks better. Uh-oh. Alright, nothing was missing. I might try and fix up the eyes again later, or try and reshape them. I'm probably just like... little adjustments. Ink line's a bit thicker. And now all the parts are done and rigged. Well, not rigged, just the art meshes are done. But yeah, or at least the textures of the art meshes. You get what I mean, right? How the fuck did I gain a lisp? I need to drink more water. This model is a bit... I'll need to adjust the head a little bit. This shape seems a bit better. Feel like the neck's a bit too high though, so readjust. And voila. All I have to do is just merge all of these together, because there really is no point in the lines and the colors being in separate layers. And you kind of just want to do a double check once you're all done, I guess. So now you want to make sure that every single part is exactly where it is. There aren't any extra colors or whatever. And then you can just merge them. You don't need the folders anymore. It's also to have backups just in case, because of all the mistakes that you can make. But it's alright. What's the worst that can happen? Eyebrows, I don't know. If you want to change them, you can. Go right ahead, but... There we are. Now, there is now a second thing we need to do with the mouth, and that is to make an open version of it. Which isn't too hard. Generally, you want to do that while you draw the mouth, but that's just how I work, I guess. Also keep this real nice and flat for the sake of the style. And there are two mouths. Mouth open, mouth close. It should be around the same width, but it's alright for now. You can always adjust it when you do the art mesh, which is great. Yeah, I believe we are done now. I also forgot to separate the eyelashes from the actual eye. It'll be easier to edit if I had separated the eyelashes from the eyebrow, but I didn't do that. So yeah, now I gotta try and fix it. So give me a second. Alright. That was a quick fix that I forgot to do last time, because we need to animate like the eyes closing and all that, so that's gonna be fun to do as well. There's a neat trick on how you do the eyes, but yeah. There's nothing else that needs to be modified or anything of the sort, so that's it. Once you're done with that, you have to use Live2D to rig your model. Now, if you're using like Clip, then you want to export the file as like a Photoshop document, because Live2D knows how to turn a Live2D document into all the art meshes, how to transfer all the layers and stuff into, and all that stuff. So it's just easier that way. It's not gonna translate a clip file easily. Live2D won't. So that's all you need to do. Of course, your model might be way more complicated than mine, way more tacky or whatnot. This is just the simple model that I'm going to use, a new one that I'm going to use. and it definitely looks. I suppose it's not much. I don't think it's much of improvement to my current one, I guess, but it's a. It just looks better. It just has a better thing to it, I guess. It's just, very, very. It's a very flat model. It's even flatter than my current model as well. Even my model has a little bit of shading and all that, but it's definitely my current art style. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'll be making more videos about this as I make my new model, and you can follow along so that way it's, so that way you're able to learn how to make Live2D yourself. I'm using the official tutorial, but I'm also just like trying to show you what I do and the process and how how I made my model, so that way you're able to have an idea on how to make yours, which hopefully you guys now have an idea on how to do the layering and whatnot. The Live2D process is really, really simple. It's just confusing me because it's new, in my personal opinion. So I'm just showing you, what I'm doing, so you're more comfortable with what's happening, and then you're able to make your model easily. Hopefully way more easier than I did when I made my first model my first time. And hopefully this also helps experienced people as well, but I'm not that skilled personally. I don't think it will, but if it did, I am very, very grateful that it managed to. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and yeah, I don't know if I said that again, but yeah, see you guys and have a nice life, I guess. Yep. Good old awkward outro. Can't ever do a video without that, can I?